Paramount. We lost Superman to Warner, we lost Marvel to Disney, we even lost Popeye. Who knows what comic we'll lose next?
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
I was really hoping it was a bird.
Superman in Technicolor and presented in a 4x3 format to preserve the integrity of Dave Fleischer's creative vision. Superman has an arrangement with Action Comics. He can cheat on them, but only for an animated short that Action Comics can later buy and forget to renew the copyright on. Hey, Apple released the new Ice Barber. Well, so far, Sammy Timberg's the MVP of this short. I guess I have to like this short because of Dave's solidarity. Ooh, classic Harp Glissando. Spontaneation flashback?
The endless reaches of the universe.
Oh, damn, just another Land Before Time sequel.
A planet that burned like a green star in the...
Wait, Krypton's the green planet? Somebody save Botanicus!
Advanced, and it brought forth a race of supermen whose mental and physical powers were developed to the absolute peak of human perfection.
They developed the power to later retcon that explanation into some nonsense involving sun color.
One of the planet's leading scientists, sensing the approach of doom, placed his infant son in a small rocket ship and sent it hurtling in the direction of the Earth.
Pretty sure that's the general direction of Earth. Good luck, kid. Ugh, we let E.T. and Steven down. They were counting on us.
The rocket ship sped through star-studded space, landing safely on Earth with its precious burden, Krypton's sole survivor. A passing motorist found the uninjured child and took it to an orphanage.
Can't kill Jonathan Kent if you just don't have Jonathan Kent.
He found himself possessed of amazing physical powers. Faster than a speeding bullet.
Take that, Sky!
More powerful than a locomotive.
But not as powerful as a boat stuck in a canal.
Tall buildings at a single bound.
Until the animators thought, that looks silly, let's just make him fly.
Superman!
Drink it all in, folks. This is me.
To use his amazing powers in a never-ending battle for truth and justice, Superman has assumed the disguise of Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper.
Paramount, our streaming service is, so far, not any less successful than our theme parks were.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Hey, no fair guessing after he leaves his name in the sky in giant letters. Oh yeah, it's a Max Fleischer cartoon. Just ignore the younger brother doing the directing here. The Mechanical Monsters, or as I like to call it, an orgy at Elon Musk's house. We got a wonderful show for you tonight. Joan Rivers is here. Have you been injured by a mechanical monster? Call the law offices of Mufati and Germanetti. You may be entitled to animation. No, it's my older brother's cartoon. I just directed it, that's all.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
This exposition, I mean.
More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound.
Would have been easier to walk around it, but he's a show-off.
Krypton, the man of steel, Superman. Empowered with X-ray vision.
We forgot to mention that last time.
Physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
This is my mild-mannered pose. Paramount. Now that name applies to all of Viacom. There's no escape from this mountain.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
And oh god, he's promoting his new NFT! Everybody run for the hills! Superman in Technicolor? That's a weird name for a Superman short. Ooh, Bajillion Dollar Limited, my favorite CISO show. Mr. Toad just got run over. This is based on the Superman comic strip, not the comic books. This falls into the Superman newspaper continuity, so keep that in mind. It's going to come in very important. Son of Jor-El, need tell before Zod. Ooh, Timberg putting some extra flair on it this time.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
Come on, everyone. We can pad out 30 more seconds without having to animate anything new.
To leap tall buildings at a single bound, this amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Superman!
Wait, sorry, this is just the statue of Superman in the Looney Tunes Superstore at Magic Mountain.
Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
While the real Clark Kent is locked in his basement. Paramount, the reason studios aren't allowed to own theaters is named after us. Now check out our streaming service.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Superman does whatever a Superman can. Is he strong? Listen, bud. He's got super Kryptonian blood. Oh, The Arctic Giant. Brad Bird finally got a sequel. Jerry insisted on Jerome for clout, but Joseph was like, just call me Joe. I just don't know if it's going to be the same without Isidore Sparber. To this day, Superman denies that he ghost-directed these himself. He lets Fleischer keep the credit.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
Let's do this one last
More
time.
powerful than a locomotive.
But just barely, as we learned in the last
Tall
short.
buildings at a single bound. This amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel,
I prefer my men of aluminum.
Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
Fighting for truth while disguised as an occupation half the country no longer trusts. Paramount, we're not even worth joking about now with all that crap Warner Brothers is pulling.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
This crowd does this every week, and it still takes them 3 tries to realize it's Superman. Oh yeah, this was that era when the Rocketeer became one of those Second Amendment weirdos. Action Comics and Superman magazines in this economy? Graham Place is what I say when I forget the words Castle Daventry. I wonder if the crowd stuck around to read the credits.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
So he'll be faster than a bulleteer, too. That takes care of any stakes.
Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound.
Able to reuse animation in a single cut.
The Man of Steel.
Dang automation putting the men of bronze out of work.
Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for...
Never ending? Superman's not going to see retirement? Maybe he is a millennial.
Clark Kent.
I guess I should get back to that battle if it's, never ending.
Paramount, we're the mountaintop. We're the goddamn Statue of Liberty. Ready.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
But he looks different. Did they recast him again already? So, Super, the Man of Fate. This logo works because the word magnetic always invokes lightning, and the word telescope invokes a wooden sign on a treehouse built by the Little Rascals. Well, I don't know about you, but I only read Superman magazines for the articles. M4, Ron, is that the precursor to Megan? And is that the same Thomas More who wrote Last Rose of Summer?
Faster than a speeding bullet.
Smarter than the average bear.
Powerful than a locomotive.
Come on, Kal-El, do the locomotion.
Tall buildings at a single bound.
Weird they built a skyscraper in the middle of a public park, but...
The Man of Steel. Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength.
Not necessarily strong strength, just a level of strength that's worthy of remark.
Disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
We ran out of narration before music, so it's all you, Timberg. Paramount, do we own Pluto TV too? Even we're not quite sure.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird!
Nice try. I'm not falling for that again.
Yes, Superman, the man with all the powers of a building super. He will receive your call to repair the dishwasher, then 3 days later pop in and blame your detergent. Electric Earthquake, as featured in the recent Disney Plus series Muppets Earthquake. Oh, come on, who broke the credits? It was difficult to make this arrangement after Action Comics and Superman magazine's contentious divorce. It's going down. I'm Sammy Timberg. You'd better move. You'd better dance.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
They really got ahead of that Matrix bit.
More powerful than a locomotive.
Trains and guns, the only things that worked at opening day Hang on, we've already done this bit.
Planet Krypton.
Superman can only be summoned via welding.
Superman! Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
He looks so pissed because as a reporter, he was just unverified on Twitter. Paramount, while you weren't looking, we just greenlit 8 more Star Trek shows and a Galaxy Quest.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
And he's assuring us that this cartoon won't be as racist as last month's. Superman in Technicolor, demonstrated here with letters so bright the color differences are barely perceptible. Ground she's moving under me, tidal waves out on the sea, sulfur smoke up in the sky. Pretty soon we learn to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Willard Bowski, he's got to be one of the Koopa kids, right? Look, sometimes you want more, but you know you ought to fewer.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
Hotter than a volcano.
More powerful than a locomotive. Able to soar higher than any plane.
8 episodes in, and the credits finally realized he can fly instead of jump.
The Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
Yeah, except for last time when he fought on the side of the oppressor, but...
Clark Kent.
Paramount. For months we filled our streaming service with ads for a Grease prequel only to erase it from existence. What is wrong with us?
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Whenever these Metropolis crowds are just staring up in the sky, that's when the pickpockets come out to play. Oh, this year Oogie Boogie Bash is giving a Halloween overlay to Midway Mania. Jim Davis, so we're gonna get a Superman who hates Mondays? The amazing storyboarding duo of Morton and Gordon. Yeah, enjoy seeing Dave Fleischer's name while it lasts.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive.
Yeah, but more powerful than a 260 is a low bar, according to the train expert I know. Thanks, Ashley. Borrowing Doctor Strange's portal to make his appearance.
Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a
never-ending battle.
Mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
Really? You should know all of this by now. Paramount. The Barbie movie didn't license that many clips from us, but still more than you expected.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Famous Studios. It's always been famous. I've never heard of Max and Dave. A showdown? Going downtown? You're gonna mess around? And yes, we're skipping the first Famous Studios short because even the title is too racist for me. There's gonna be a couple from the famous era we'll skip for racism reasons.
Faster than a streak of lightning. More powerful than the pounding surf.
Guess the Fleischers got the speeding bullet and locomotive in the divorce.
This amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman.
We can reuse still images from the previous era, that's all right.
Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
A man with a sailboat in his jacket pocket. Paramount, we're bringing back Good Burger and Frasier, and we're gonna make them fight to the death.
Up in the sky, look!
Wow, just spitting in the face of Adam McKay.
It's Superman!
A famous studio, but we won't tell you which one, but trust us, it's famous. Ugh, I'm tired of all this big corporate destruction. Support your local destruction LLC. Morton, this one might be too salty.
Faster than a streak of lightning.
Zeus versus Superman.
More powerful than the pounding surf.
Part of your world.
Mightier than a roaring hurricane.
Weird, because Superman's the hero who isn't in a Florida theme park.
Amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman.
Merry Christmas. Wait.
Remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. Disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter.
Fighting for truth while lying about his identity. The flute really sells it. Paramount, how many screams and paranormal activities would you like to watch this month? Why did they draw it to be day for night?
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane!
It's da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Did the music just stutter? Well, I stand with the mummy and refuse to cross the mummy picket line. Ah, my favorite publishing company, Siegel & Schuster. Never noticed, but Timberg sounds like one of those fake American names from that baseball video game. Maybe this is The Mummy Strikes Out. Mummy's playing baseball. Let's Twilight this crap.
Faster than a streak of lightning.
The lightning strikes like the mummy will.
More powerful than the pounding surf.
Yeah, but has Brian Wilson written a song about you?
Mightier than a roaring hurricane.
These trees are going to get replanted in Seuss Landing.
This amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman.
His cape stopped moving when the Fleischers left.
Remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. Disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter.
A mild-mummied reporter. Paramount. None of our films grossed $1 billion this year either, but you don't hear us whining about it, Disney.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Famous Studios, you'll always be famous, because it's literally your name. Ooh, is Superman going to Fraggle Rock? I'm Action Comics, and I approve this arrangement. Well, I hope Morton's story is as good as his Salt or his The Steakhouse.
Faster than a streak of lightning.
Faster than the music was cut off.
More powerful than the pounding surf.
Pride Rock is flooded. Now we miss Scar's drought.
Mightier than a roaring hurricane.
They keep replanting that palm tree only for it to get blown away.
Amazing stranger from the planet Krypton.
But Winnie the Pooh taught me to be too smart for strangers from Krypton.
Superman.
Oh, the horn section's phoning it in today.
Strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. Disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
And if he's dealing with the mummy, he'll spend most of his time as Clark Kent. Paramount, will somebody buy us, please? Somebody who's not Warner Brothers? Anybody? Hello?
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Thanks, gang. I'm gonna miss gathering around to look up in the sky and list things that fly. Not that secret if you're advertising on the side of the bag. Yeah, the arrangement was fun while it lasted, but these shorts are expensive, so let's just make Little Lulu instead. Oh, I wish I was a Carl Meyer story. You may be seated.
Faster than a streak of lightning.
But not as fast as a streaker on Small World.
More powerful than the pounding surf.
But not as powerful as a skeet surfer.
Mightier than a roaring hurricane.
But not as mighty as Bob Dylan singing Hurricane.
This amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel.
Larry Boy?
Superman.
Damn it.
Possessing remarkable physical strength.
And possessed by Pazuzu.
Never-ending battle for truth and justice.
Yes, it's never ending. Anyway, here's the final episode.
Reporter Clark Kent.
But really, these cartoons are mostly about petty squabbles with Lois at the office.